Hello and welcome again to our weekly class on the Torah Portion. I'm Sondra Baras, and we are going to be talking today about the book of Numbers. We begin today with Numbers 1. And one of the things that I noticed as soon as we moved to the book of Numbers is, of course, why is it even called the book of Numbers? In Hebrew, actually, the name of this book is Bamidbar, in the desert. And that takes from the first verse where it says, "And God spoke to Moses in the Sinai desert." And this entire book is about things that happened while the children of Israel were wandering in the desert. And therefore, the name of today's Torah portion is Bamidbar, and it's also the name of this book. But in English, it's called Numbers, and that's because there are so many different, or a number of different counts that go on in this book. Numbers, being counting up who's there, how many people of each tribe, etc. And indeed, that's how the book of Numbers begins. It begins with a count of who are the different tribes and who are the different families. And one of the things that I notice as soon as you read through this, as they list every single family, is that word family that keeps coming over again and again, that repeats itself as each of these people are counted. So, for example, we have here, Moses and Aaron took these men who were expressed by their names. This is verse 17. "And they assembled all the congregation on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families, by the house of their father, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of names from 20 years old and upwards, by their polls." And then every single time that we talk about every tribe, for example, in verse 20, when we start with Reuben, "And the children of Reuben, Israel's firstborn, by their generation, after their families, by the house of their fathers," and so on and so forth. Every time that we calculate now, each tribe, the word that keeps coming back to us over and over again are the families, house of their fathers. And I think this really is symbolic of a certain transition that the nation of Israel has gone through as we move through the 5 books of Moses. The first book, the book of Genesis, is really the story of a family. It begins, we have the first chapters discuss the creation of the world and the first generations of mankind. But when we begin the story with Abraham, which is really the beginning of the story of the Bible, in Genesis 12, we begin the story of one man and his family. God making promises to Abraham, then to Isaac, to Jacob. And by the end of Genesis, we have a family that has grown very large. They have come down to Egypt with 70 people in that family.
To watch this program in its entirety, go to www.glc.us.com or simply click the link below.